Hello and welcome to Low Budget Gaming and welcome to another fast Descendant video. So time to have a look at Keelan. Keelan got new Transcendent modules, 2 of them with last month's update. This is not a rework, so his playstyle is very similar. 1 or 2 of his skills will be adjusted slightly, depending on which of the Transcendent module you are using. Now before I go into the build, I wanted to recap Keelan's skills for any new players, any returning players, or people who haven't played Keelan recently. Now, Keelan is a toxic type of Descendant. Keelan doesn't use MP. Keelan has a custom resource. The custom resource is called Acidic Infusion. Notice here, skills 1 and 2 are available. Skills 3 and 4 are not available. You have to use skills 1 or 2 to get the custom resource, and when you have enough of them, you can use skill 3 and 4. Skill 3 requires 250 custom resource, and skill 4 requires 500. So 100, 200, 300. Notice skill 3 is available. 400, 500, skill 4 is available. Now the custom resource will vanish or expire after 10 seconds of non-use. So if you're out of combat for 10 seconds, it will disappear like that. Okay, so that is the simple setup with Keelan. Now let me get 3 Vulgus here and show you the base skills and how they work. Because when we add the Transcendent modules, it will change 1 or 2 skills slightly. Now, Keelan uses his skills to put the status called Acidic Decay on the enemy. So I'll press the Q, and so it hits the enemies, and notice the status here, this is Acidic Decay. And this does continuous damage to the enemy, and also generates the custom resource. That is skill 1 for you. Skill 2, as we saw earlier, is a dash skill. But if you dash through an enemy, you do pierce damage. At the end of the dash, you will do knockback damage, and you will also put the status on the enemy. There is one other thing with this second skill. By the way, the second skill is called Onslaught. It has 5 stacks, as you can see. So with this one, when you dash, you are obviously using up your stacks and losing the stacks. But if you dash through enemies, you get a 5-second cooldown reduction to your stacks. So if you line up 3 enemies, which is the maximum allowed here, you can actually have your stacks maxed out all the time. So you can see here, I have 5. I'm not losing anything because I'm going through 3 enemies and each of them is giving me a 5-second reduction. So my stacks are always maxed out. So if you're running low on stacks, try to line up 2-3 enemies and just do that. And you'll actually get them back very quickly. And so this is how you can run around infinitely with the Keelan. So that is your skill 2. Let me just reset these guys here. Now with skill 3, if they don't have the status on them, it will put the status on them. If they have the status on them, it will put something called Blood Rot, which causes an explosion like that. So that is how skill 3 works. With skill 4, this has range involved as well. So if you are within 6 meters, notice skill 4 is glowing. So if you are within 6 meters and you have the custom resource and they have the status on them, you can use skill 4 to do burst damage like this. Now, if you don't have the status, or if you are more than 6 meters away, notice skill 4 isn't glowing anymore. So the way this works now is if you are low on stacks of your Onslaught, you can use skill 4 to get 3 stacks back. So this is how the skills, base skills for Keelan work without a Transcendent module. Okay, now let's have a look at the new Transcendent module, starting with Fierce Attack. So with Fierce Attack, skill 3 changes slightly. When you use skill 3, he steps back and has this toe effect on the enemies. And you can pull all the enemies in together and then use your sword to destroy them like this. So that is the main change with the Fierce Attack Transcendent module. The second Transcendent module is called Septic Torrent, and what this does is it changes all the skills to singular type, and skill 3 also changes again, and you also get custom resource when using a melee weapon. So now if you use your sword, you will generate your custom resource as well. With the other setups, you are getting the custom resource with skill 1 and 2. Now you get it with the sword as well. And also when you use the third skill, it is now a ring, sort of like Harris. And if you attack enemies with a melee weapon, you'll do additional skill damage as well. So yeah, so this is the other Transcendent module. Those are the main changes. I don't want to go into too much detail. But yeah, those are the main differences between the two new Transcendent modules. Now let's look at the build. The build is identical. All I'm doing is changing the Transcendent module. So I'll use the Septic Torrent as an example. You can use the same setup with the Fierce Attack as well. So Keelan is a toxic type of Descendant, and he uses singular skills, his damage dealing skills. He has very low crit, so we are not going to build into crit. So you can start with power increase or focus on toxic, depending on how much cooldown you have. Singular specialist or focus on singular. Toxic amplification, singular amplification. MP conversion, nimble fingers. Skill expansion for range. Stim accelerant for HP. Because he doesn't use MP, we are using Stim accelerant. Trigger module is infected weapon. The first part here, continuous damage with the Arche infection. That is what we are interested in. The exclusive weapon part doesn't apply to Keelan. That is for Freyna. Skill 1, Skill 2, Skill 3 all have continuous damage. So this will be very handy for Keelan. We are also using infection amplifier because again, this works with infected weapons. So enemies that are inflicted with Arche infection, you have a 30% chance of dealing additional 250% damage. For the Ancestors module, you want singular power, singular modifier, you want toxic power, you want some range if possible, and cooldown will be very handy as well. So I have singular power, cooldown, and singular skill modifier. Pretty good. The negative is for HP. It doesn't matter because we have a lot of HP here with the Stim accelerant as well as the external component set. Now we are using the Plague set, but with different roles because we don't need MP. So this will be different for Keelan. For the auxiliary power, I have max HP and module drop rate. The module drop rate isn't necessary. You can use something else there. For the sensor, I'm using shield recovery out of combat and HP recovery modifier. For the memory, I have defense and shield recovery in combat. And for the processor, I have max shield and shield recovery modifier. For the reactor, we have toxic singularity reactor. So toxic singular type, and we want skill cooldown and singular skill power boost ratio. Arche tuning looks like this. We take the skill power, skill cost, skill power here, range, enhanced skill power. MP will be wasted, but we have to because we have to go here. Mutant cell is toxin chain catalyst. And with any remaining nodes, you can either go for some HP or you can put on the weapon side so that you get some more power into your sword. For the inversion reinforcement, we want instant acceleration protocol, we want spatial dominance, and we want blade trajectory. These two are for the weapon. For the shadow, identical build to the one I covered previously. So these are the cores that you want on your shadow. These are the options. And this is the build. I'll not repeat myself because I've covered this many times. And for the fellow, we have the HP fellow for HP, or you can go with the Vesper's hunting dog for some more ammo if you find yourself running out of ammo on the sword. So yeah, that is it for Keelan. Just make sure to line up the enemies when you're using your second skill so that your stacks are always up. And you can do the same thing with the shadow sword. So you try to line them up together, and that way you can kill multiple enemies, especially the elites in the Legion lab, very, very easily. As for the build, use whichever you prefer. I found the one with the fierce attack where you are throwing in the enemies to be more fun. But this one, the Septic Torrent, was faster when it came to clear times. About 15 seconds faster in my experience on average. So yeah, so you can use whichever you prefer. Either way, I'll leave you with the footage of the Legion Lab dungeon with the Septic Torrent build. Thank you for watching and see you next time.
I'll kill you. Boo, you can't. Too slow. You can't run away. I'll snap you off. Move. You can't lose. Move. You can't lose. Show broken. This is your end. You can't run away. Move. With her. I need help. Quick. This is your